Alien Resurrection is the fourth film within the Alien franchise, and it is considered by most people the worst within the franchise, myself included. Alright, let's review. Alien Resurrection sees the return of Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley. Well, she's playing a clone of Ellen Ripley, but she's brought back by a bunch of scientists just so that they can get the xenomorph embryo that was in her stomach before she killed herself in the last film. They managed to retrieve it so that they can study it, but of course, these scientists never learn. These scientists learn very quickly. An alien outbreak happens, the alien is killing scientists and a bunch of mercenaries that were brought in onto the ship, and it turns out that this Ripley clone has xenomorph DNA within her, so she can telepath with the xenomorphs, and the alien queen gives birth to it. I'm gonna get into that a little bit. Just wait. Jesus. Now, for my personal history with Alien Resurrection, this was actually the first Alien movie that I've always heard about because I remember they used to play commercials and previews for this for the broadcast version on FX. And I saw them, I'm like, what is this? But I never really got around to watching it until much, much later in life. But I eventually did, and yeah, it's definitely the worst within the franchise, and that's how I feel about this movie. Period, point blank. There's no reason to explain it. Like, this is seriously the worst. Now, it is directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, or Jeunet. Please forgive me if I butcher your name, but I do know that this French director, he directed Amélie, which is a film that is held in high regard by a lot of people. Personally, I haven't seen it yet, but the fact that he made a movie that is highly regarded by a lot of people leads me to question what the hell went wrong with this. And it is also written by Joss Whedon, who has given us such great things like the Buffy the Vampire TV series, Firefly, Serenity, the first Avengers, Avengers Age of Ultron. He even wrote the first Toy Story. And he directed something that a lot of people, myself included, does not like to acknowledge. But regardless, he still gave us other great things. So I ask again, what the hell went wrong with this? For example, the scientists insist on trying to get the xenomorph. This is like Jurassic Park levels of stupid right here, because it's like, from the last three movies, have y'all not learned nothing good comes for trying to collect a xenomorph? Do y'all not know that xenomorphs are very hostile and do not care? They are going to kill you. They're like, no, I mean, yeah, they're dangerous, but maybe we could tame it a little bit. And to their credit, they do tame it a little bit in the movie. When every time the alien xenomorph starts acting up, they just put down this freaking smoke freeze thing to keep it straight. But the fact that they got some blood sample from the planet that the original Ellen Ripley was on, and they were able to clone her, but also able to clone the fact that she had a xenomorph growing inside of her and extract it so that they can study it. And so now they just have this weird Ripley clone walking around, and she has the same blood as the xenomorph, so she can telepathically communicate it. It gives her super strength. Like that alone, I'm like, yo, who wrote this? I'll tell you who, Joss Whedon. No, but to be fair, it could work, just not what Joss Whedon had written to do for this. One of those doctors is played by Brad Dourif, who is fresh in my mind after consuming Chucky content, and he's fine in this. He's just his usual creepy self, like he does in most of his roles. The mercenaries that are brought on, some of them played by Ron Perlman, who clearly understood the assignment and he's having a good time with here. But then we have Winona Ryder, who plays Call, and spoiler alert, she is an android, and so she develops a bond with Ellen Ripley. And mostly because this android, she knows what's going on with the scientists and what they're trying to do, so they band together to try to stop this shit. The effects in this film, I'd say, is a mixture between practical and CGI. The CGI just doesn't look good, but the practical, I'd say it's pretty good. Like a lot of the visual and costumes or whatever, they're all done by Pitoff, who went on to direct the worst bad movie classic, Catwoman. But to his credit, the practical effects even had me shook, like particularly when we see it actually looks real, it's interactive, it's more moving, and it's all wet. It just gives off this creepy vibe that, oh shit. But at the same time, one of the things that made that original Alien movie so special is that we didn't get much of the xenomorph. But here we get too many shots and too much screen time with the xenomorph. We like the mystery of not seeing it. But to me, the biggest crime that this movie committed is the fact that the xenomorph gave birth to a half xenomorph, half human newborn breed. And it looks like this.
What the hell is even that?
Once again, who wrote this shit? Look, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I mean, it's plain and simple. This is definitely the worst with the mainline Alien films. But luckily, it's not the worst film to feature a xenomorph. Oh yeah, we're going to get to that movie very, very soon. But for right now, I'm going to give Alien Resurrection the angry face emoji.